Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
Yeah. We back.
What's up, man?
Not much. I'm good. I put my glasses on today because, actually, I just had them on already, and I really don't need them. I was
gonna ask you because sometimes you got the Ray-Bans with the camera in them.
Oh man, yeah, that's just a little something, a little something. But this Off the Record, I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B. All right, so first week of hold on. What do you want to talk about first? Because we got a lot to talk about.
We can start with. I think we should start. I think the NFL's coaching carousel, Black Monday, had arrived and went. And there were some firings. There also were guys that ended up stepping down, like Mike Tomlin stepped down after the game on Monday. Let's start with the coaching carousel. I think that there are people that want some coaches, and I think they're gonna be, some may be disappointed. Some surprise interviews, I think. So, I mean, I guess the top dog, out of the coaches, I would say would probably be John Harbaugh. I guess it would be Mike Tomlin. Or would you say they're pretty similar?
So I would say that they're pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would be more inclined to want Mike Tomlin as a coach.
But you're not a Harbaugh fan, so
well, I think you get like really, their resumes are pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
John Harbaugh's had a little bit more playoff success recently.
Yeah, that's true.
Possibly, overall, they're very similar coaches. They're motivators, and they get the best out of their guys. Or guys like playing for them. So I don't think you can go wrong with either of them. I did feel like both coaches' time, it just ran its course. With Mike Tomlin, 19 years in an organization. Shout out to him. That's a long time, but
you gotta go.
What you're saying? Well, so I've been thinking about this a lot, right? You got like the Dallas Cowboys, and just hear me out on this, right?
Okay.
And you got the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
Those fan bases are historic fan bases in the like NFL. Like, people can say what they want to say about the Cowboys, but the expectations of their coaches have always been high. The Steelers probably, arguably, in my opinion, has one of the best fan bases in the NFL. People just they travel well.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty decent folks. Not to say that anybody else in any other fan base isn't. The expectations of constantly losing in the first round or being just 500 and just hovering there was going to wear thin eventually.
Right.
And it just wasn't going to cut it. And I think it got to the point to where everybody knows that Mike Tomlin is a good coach, but was he the right man to lead them through the changes that organization needs to go in, or the direction that it needs to go in? The reality is, you bring this up a lot, they haven't had much quarterback success since Big Ben has retired. And just with the last couple of seasons of having Aaron Rodgers there, having Russell Wilson, having Justin Fields there, it didn't seem like it was going to get any better. So I think he made the right decision by walking away. The only thing that I would say is that he's not the only person to blame, right? Because you've got the front office too that I think failed, and I'm sure we're going to elaborate on that. But no, I think he made the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Tomlin. I mean, again, longest tenured coach. I feel like, I mean, I could agree with him stepping in. He probably was just tired of it, I he is a man of, as far as what we know, a man of integrity. But I think the Steelers are going to feel this. It's not going to be. I think that they're not going to have, and I want to say they're not going to have the immediate success, because you never know. Someone can. You can draft a Lamar Jackson and then your fortunes change like that. But I would say that the fire Mike Tomlin chants were so disrespectful that he didn't want to deal with it no more. Well, and I feel like he would have left after the season, regardless whether they won a Super Bowl, made the playoffs, didn't make the playoffs, lost in the first round, conference. It didn't matter. He wasn't gonna coach the Steelers after this year. And so I think that he had that in his mind already throughout the season. And honestly, I think only a Super Bowl and the opportunity to win back-to-back would have brought him back, which is clearly was highly unlikely, right? So I don't think nothing that they necessarily did this year would have kept Mike Tomlin. He had his mind set up. He said he's going to take a break. He probably just tied 19 years in one spot. Is like I'm sure he probably had a kid in that time, or there's plenty of people.
Well, I heard his kids are grown now, so there's nothing tying him to that Pittsburgh area.
Yeah.
I think we all agree whether or not he wants to coach again or he wants to get into TV, he'll have plenty of opportunities. So he's not hurting for opportunities.
I don't think he's going to coach next year. I think he takes a year off, and then the season after next he comes back. Somebody hires him and he takes over some program that's moribund or whatever it's like.
So I want to touch on two things that you said. I speak.
Touch on two things
that you said. I gotta finish my sentence. Let me finish my.
Okay.
All right, Phil.
All right, go ahead.
Nah, but look, it did have like a Marvin Lewis type eerie. No, I'm talking about as far as like the firing chance, right? So it got to the point. I'm not, when I say this, I'm not comparing Marvin Lewis, the coach, and Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's won a Super Bowl. He's won playoff games. Yeah. Like that'd be utterly disrespectful. Even though I like Marvin Lewis.
I like Marvin Lewis as well, yeah.
But toward the end, the last 4 or 5 years of this constantly going out the first round, Marvin Lewis's seat just got hotter and hotter and hotter. And the Bengals were kind of in the same situation where he had been there a while. They didn't necessarily think that he was a bad coach. And, he had some injuries and it was things that
just bad luck.
Yeah, bad luck. With Tomlin, the Steelers are heading toward a rebuild. I think that so much pressure was on Mike Tomlin to get that playoff win that they didn't take a good reality check of or get a good pulse of where they really are. That defense still premier defense, but it's got some Asian players. The quarterback problem is not going away. They've and for all intents and purposes, I feel like this year it feels like they went all in on like trying to like make a deep run in the playoffs with bringing in Aaron Rodgers, not signing George Pickens, and bringing in DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey and some of those boys. And if I'm a new coach and new regime, I'm going to want to ultimately break all that up, start my own.
Right.
But that's going to take time. And I'll give the Steelers fan base the benefit of the doubt. They are patient and they tend to stick with their coaches. But the reality for a lot of us that have went through rebuilds and went through new coaches and what that really looks like, good luck.
Good luck. Grass ain't always green, man. Listen, I'm telling you, you have a good coach, and I get it. I get it. Patience can wear thin. You want to go to that next level. They'll see. They'll see. They going. So the Steelers have requested some guy. I know they had. I forget what team's passing coordinator. But there's some other coaches that pretty much every team in the AFC North lost their coach except for the Bengals with Zach Taylor, but Stefanski's out of there, which I had a feeling. It ain't rock science. It ain't no secret. John Harbaugh is going out of Baltimore, and ironic. I think that if Tomlin would have said or would have been interviewed for, he would have had a job before any of those guys, even Harbaugh. But I think Harbaugh. So the running favorite is that Harbaugh goes to the Giants, but he had his interview today. They let him out the building. So he left out the building, and now he's going to interview with Tennessee as well.
Yeah, I also heard that he interviewed with Atlanta.
So it wasn't like an in-person interview yet.
Yeah.
Which let me find out Atlanta putting out fake news. They had but I think Atlanta would be, but I think the ideal fit probably would be the Giants. But as you think about it, Tennessee wouldn't be bad either.
So this is what's going to be tough, and this is where we're going to start to disagree a little bit.
Oh boy.
John Harbaugh, you cannot take anything away from a coach, right? He's a Super Bowl winning coach. A lot of playoff wins, a lot of success as the Raven coach.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm interested to see, and this is just my opinion, those Baltimore teams had a lot of talent.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how he does as a coach when he has very little talent and he's got to build it from the start. Because let's be frank, right? And you just kind of said it and you kind of alluded to Lamar Jackson's just don't fall out the sky.
That's correct.
Some of the teams that he's had were really, 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 really good teams that, they ran up against the Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allen. So we'll be fair there, right? Because, it's probably not too many coaches in NFL history that would have beat like the Chiefs or with their run that they had going on. Mm-hmm. Like Patrick Mahomes is a bad boy, not taking anything from him. But those Ravens teams, let's be honest, were stacked. With Tomlin, I feel like it was just maybe a little bit, maybe Steeler fans assumed that they were a little bit better than what they were. Like a lot of people outside of Steelers.
They all knew that they had everything but a quarterback. I think Steelers fans were aware that they didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah, which Mike Tomlin, again, he was able to keep a winning record, win some divisions, and I don't believe he had the talent that Baltimore had. So I'm interested to see if we have Harbaugh in New York City, biggest media market in the world. Let's say he does land that job.
Okay.
Can he he'll be able to handle the pressure because he's been a coach for 18 years, but it's going to be interesting to see how he builds a program from the ground up. Now, and I'm sure we do have some Baltimore fans out there, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that John Harbaugh built the Ravens?
If he didn't, then who did? I mean, he had Ozzie
Yeah, I
He
see.
used him as his GM for I guess the first part of his career, the first half of his career, and then the last, I guess, the last however many years, 6, 7 years.
But remind me, and I don't know, 6, 7, nah. But remind me, right? And I don't recall because 18 years was a long time ago. What was the Baltimore landscape when he got there? Was it a good team or was it because
Yeah, how many years? That's 18 years ago. So you was Flacco, I think. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Baltimore was that good when he got there. You
right?
know, and so he got there in so 20 years ago was '06. So I guess '08 is when he got there.
And he won a Super Bowl in 12, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So essentially took him 4 years to win a Super Bowl, which is tremendous, right? Joe Flacco, I believe, might have already been there when he was the coach, but I'm not going to sit here and act like Joe Flacco back then was.
Joe Flacco was good.
Joe Flacco was good, but I'm not going to sit here and act like you got Joe Flacco, you should win. Joe Flacco, until he got that first Super Bowl, he was a good quarterback, but it wasn't like I got Joe Flacco. I should definitely win.
Why do you do this, show? Joe
What you mean?
Flacco was good. Now, yes, I think that once they got Joe Flacco, it's not like Joe Flacco was a 6th or 5th round quarterback. They had Joe Flacco, and I think that he was good. He was young. He was serviceable. He was tall guy. Had a big arm.
The Joe Flacco that I remember from back in the day, what was he made his money that Super Bowl run. But prior,
no, I agree there. I agree there, but
and I'm talking about the Super Bowl run in 2012.
yeah,
That playoff run, he had a phenomenal playoff run.
I agree.
Prior to that, Joe Flacco was the average Joe. You know, he was
the average Joe.
he was. That's what I recall, and I'm sure maybe Phil could correct me because he's got all the Ravens statistics, but no, I don't recall Joe Flacco being just.
Well, he was a first round pick.
He was a first round pick.
So when you have a first round pick, you're expecting this guy to lead you and for you to be successful.
He was good. He was good, but I don't know if he was considered a franchise quarterback now.
He was a first round pick. He definitely was considered a franchise quarterback. Whether he turned out to be a franchise quarterback or not, it's something totally different.
Okay. So
you drafted somebody in the first round to be your franchise quarterback.
So we'll say this: in 2012, do you feel like that Joe Flacco was the top 10 quarterback?
I barely remember last week. You want me to remember 2012? But if you
really think about it,
if you insist, I think that in 2012, which was his 1, 2, 3, 4, that was his 5th season, right?
Okay.
So in 2012, so he got there the same time Harbaugh got there.
Okay.
All right. So I would assume that's Harbaugh's first draft selection. Now, in 2012, he was at that time I would consider mid. He was mid that season.
It's the average Joe.
They were they were 10-6. They went 10-6 in the regular season and went on a run. Now I tell you what, that playoff run that he had was amazing.
Yeah, no argument there.
So again, I think from that point is when they felt like they paid him, right? He got paid then, and off of that playoff run, and he pretty much didn't really have much of another playoff run after that. They went to the playoffs with him in 2014. They won a game, they lost again. I guess they lost in the divisional. I think it was divisional, or was that the conference championship? That was when in 2014. Was that when they played Denver?
So I'll be fair to John Harbaugh, right? So you're considering Joe Flacco above average quarterback, which I think that's safe, right? And we could say that John Harbaugh contributed to that. You know, he was there when that was his first draft pick, and they built early on with his career. So we can credit him with at least I'll give him more credit now in having the hand in getting the Baltimore Ravens. It wasn't like he fell into a great situation. That's a fair statement.
Yeah. So Baltimore in 08, let's see. No. So Brian Billick was the coach before him. His last year there, they were 5-11. They came in last in the division. It was a complete S show. I don't want to curse.
Well, Brian Billick, I don't know if you remember, he stayed married to Kyle Bowler for too long.
Yeah,
he never moved on from him. Now that was his guy, and they had like good defenses.
Yeah, Rex Ryan was his. All right, but you got to give John Harbaugh the credit that he deserves. His very first season, he went 11-5 and was second in the division.
Okay, so no, we'll give him his credit. Let's see if he can find that magic. I think personally, he might take the Giants job. Now,
I mean, that's the
now. Okay, let me ask you this, right? So you got Cleveland, you got the Giants, you got the Steelers, you got Atlanta, you got Tennessee. There's one more vacancy.
I mean, there's more vacancy. You got, I think, Arizona's still open.
Yeah, Arizona,
Miami. I think that might Raiders. For me, the best coaching situation would be the Cleveland Browns. He's doing it again, y'all. He's good at what he does.
What do you mean?
It's not the best for him. I mean, to be petty, yeah.
Well, not for him, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm
the Browns are a better job than Tennessee and the Giants and Atlanta.
Man, you got to look at like that defense,
and
I feel like that once they get Deshaun Watson off the books, which I think he's going to be there.
This will be his last year.
Yeah. They're going to have a ton of money to spend. It's going to be all right coaching job. Atlanta, I want to say you're not wrong from a talent perspective if you look at Atlanta's roster. What I'm looking at with Atlanta is I think the Saints are going to start doing some pretty good things. The Panthers, even though they lost to the Rams, they held them down, and I hate to say it, and I was critical of the Panthers. I know a lot of people was critical of the Panthers. As the season progressed, they got better.
Yeah, I think they were solid throughout the season. Yeah.
They were solid throughout the season. So,
listen, Atlanta have a couple things bounced their way. They win a division, and no one cares about the Panthers or the Bucks. I think that Atlanta, the two best jobs I think that's available right now are Atlanta and the Giants. Those are the two best jobs. With I think that Baltimore. Well, let me rephrase.
Baltimore, we forgot about that as vacancy.
Baltimore, he's not going. Baltimore,
but you know what?
Baltimore's the best job.
Yeah, it's the best job.
Baltimore is the only. Baltimore is the only team that is playoff and win ready. Like they're like
absolutely. Yeah.
They should have been in the playoffs already.
You almost have to exclude Baltimore from the discussion because
I think that whoever gets that job is going to have the most pressure because you're gonna have the pressure of winning, You're gonna have the pressure of having Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and a bunch of those other pieces. So I would say, based on what we see right now, that Baltimore would be the best job. But I do think that aside from that, you have Atlanta and the Giants.
So I skipped over the Giants, and that's a good job too. You've got a good young quarterback. The Tennessee, okay, let's talk Cam Ward, right? He didn't have a bad rookie season. It was okay. A lot of people are saying that they see him as the franchise quarterback, like that. That Tennessee job is the best job out there because you've got a first-year franchise quarterback. Would you go that far?
Repeat that because I want to.
A lot of people are calling the Tennessee job the best job because you've got a young franchise quarterback, and all you got to do is surround him with pieces.
The Tennessee job is a good job. I feel like Tennessee is a good job. It's not the best job. I think that the Giants job will probably be the best job. And I feel like that because you have a quarterback in Jackson Dart as well. I think that you talk about defense, that D line. Listen, that D line has the potential. Let me put my air quotes up. The D line has the potential to be as good as what the Eagles were a couple years ago, what the Giants were in the mid 2000s. I think that if they just play to half their potential, I think that defensive line can be that dominant.
So I want to agree with you there. I think what the Giants' job is, if everybody comes back healthy, so you get like a Malik Neighbors, you get a healthy Scatterboo, like if everybody comes back healthy. I can't even see what everybody put up.
They said they sick of us.
Who's sick of us?
I don't even know who that is. It doesn't matter who it is. Thanks for tuning in and being sick of us, damn it. But nonetheless, you think that if they come back healthy, you have Neighbors. They're gonna draft a receiver. Jackson Dart he just gotta stop being a crash test dummy. Scatterboo had to stop being a crash. So it's funny that there was we have a friend called Marcus called the Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo the Bushwhackers.
That is funny.
And if you have a WWE comp for those two, it's the Bushwhackers. It's crazy. So these two guys, I literally think that if they could, they will run through the padded walls around the stadium. But if they want to last in the league, they have to change their game just a smidge. I'm not telling them not to be aggressive. I'm not telling them not to be who they are. But that if Jackson Dart wants to be considered a great quarterback, he can run all he wants to, but he got to stop trying to take on linebackers head on. He got to stop trying to run everybody over. Just run out of bounds if you have to. Scatterboo, I personally don't see him lasting more than 3 years. I don't, because I feel like his style of play, and it's not going to last in the NFL. Right.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was interesting because I was watching the Quarterback Academy, and they had Jackson Dart on there, and John Gruden was telling them the same exact advice. Like, pretty much, you're not going to be able to do that in the pros, and it looks like he didn't listen. So it's really interesting. So playoff football, man. It's a lot to unpack there.
Oh gosh.
So
where do you want to start?
Let's just get this out the way. Pause. And sound right.
Let's go.
49ers Eagles.
Oh, God, I knew he was going to be
No. So you know me, I'm very humble, and I don't like to brag, and I don't
Not
like to jinx.
anymore.
Yeah, I don't like to jinx myself or jinx the team. So I'm not going to gloat in our success, but I want to call out a couple of things that we've been talking about all year. You've been calling the Eagles front runners all year.
You got a point there.
I have been defending the Eagles
You have. You have. You
all,
have.
all year. After the game and watching the game,
Mm-hmm.
I had to come around to what you were saying. That offense,
It only took you 5 months, but
you know what? I thought they were going to figure it out. Now, what I want to talk about is
mm-hmm.
okay. So Jalen Hurts, he's getting his fair share of blame. I think AJ Brown and Nick Sirianni and the offensive coordinator just fired. I forgot his name.
Put something.
Yeah, they all deserve their hand in it too. It's not just Jalen Hurts. That offense,
I agree with that. It looked bad.
It looked bad.
So and it's just gonna sound crazy. I don't necessarily blame Jalen Hurts for that game on Sunday. Was it Sunday they played? Yeah, Sunday. I don't necessarily blame him, mainly because you had guys with the drops. AJ Brown had a couple. Devontae Smith had, which the one with Devontae Smith, it would have been a tough catch, but I think where Jalen Hurts gets his blame is he don't throw the ball down the field. He's not running like he used to. Now part of that is the line, right? The line isn't as good as it was the last few years. So Saquon couldn't really get off the way he has been. So I feel like, I always say it, losing coordinators are a bigger nuisance than people think. It ain't just the head coach. It ain't just, a player here, a player there. You lose a coordinator, a guy that's run offense, I'm glad Sheik can say this is my guy right here, man. All right, so he said the problem is fixed. I would love Sheik to come on here, but I don't think it's fixed. I don't think it's fixed.
So you know what? I agree with half of that statement.
Yeah,
I think one of the problems was getting rid of the offense coordinator.
Which he should have got rid of. He should have got fired during the season.
The other part is if you let Nick Sirianni hire the next offensive coordinator, it's going to be bad. The front office needs to step in and hire his offensive coordinator.
I'll say, like, listen, I will say this: they have the best GM in football. Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I ain't stupid either. Their GM makes moves, right? So
He hired Kellen Moore.
Huh?
He hired Kellen Moore, and we see where that got him last year.
And what's the name? Shane Steichen was there before that, and so they that's gonna hurt, right? You losing quality play callers, it's gonna hurt. So who? You got listen. Just let me cook. I ain't even looking at that right now. So again, in this situation, who are you gonna hire, right? Okay, because I agree. Like, Sirianni shouldn't be. He should have some input on who he wants, but his input was this guy that was here and that he would not fire. He would not fire, like,
or even tell him to change something up, or go back to what was working.
And trying to. You got this guy over here literally sinking your damn season. You have a good defense. Some people say great. I say, I think it's good. I think that they got some young corners now. Before they were struggling to find corners, but they got some young dogs at corner that I'm fond of.
So in my opinion, it was a top 5 defense this year in the NFL.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, and I think mainly because you got Jalen Carter, and he's one of, even though I think he needs to get in shape. If because Jalen Carter in shape would, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody listening, right? I think Jalen Carter can have his impact on the NFL could be what Shaq's was in the NBA, or somewhat of like what Aaron Donald's was before he retired, right? But I think that he's too immature, and I don't think he's in shape, right? Because if he plays against a power type guard, they're gonna wear his ass down. And to me, he's too talented and pause in events. He's too big to be getting dominated by anybody in the league, right? But if Jalen Carter was to get in shape and mature, there's not a guard, and that includes Booker, that includes what's his name in Indianapolis that went to Notre Dame. What's the guard?
I can't think of the guard's name either.
But nonetheless, nobody should be able to block Jalen Carter, right? But he does stupid stuff, and he puts the team in bad predicaments defensively, right? And I can't say that that's not a top 5 defense. Like if I was to say the Eagles were in the top 5 defense, I'd be called a hater, right? But they, like, if I'm being honest, they have a good enough defense to win a Super Bowl, right? And I told multiple Eagle fans past week, I was like, I don't know about this game, right? I think that the 49ers are going to win. Part of it was me being a Cowboys fan, but the other part was I know that they, especially in the second half, they struggle to move the ball, right? And you saw it against Buffalo. You saw it against the Cowboys. You saw it against who did they play a few weeks ago? But you've seen it throughout the year where in the second half they just struggle. And so if I'm being honest, the Eagles had no business losing that game to the fucking 49ers, right? They didn't have, like, let's be honest, the 49ers have way too many injuries, and I think that ship ends this weekend. I think Seattle's gonna get on up out of there. Sorry, Scott.
No, we'll see.
But
You're right. When you have the amount of injuries that we had, and look, you always want to win the Super Bowl, and your team's still in it, but you do have to be realistic. No. Quit being sensitive. No, but I'm just saying you want to hope for the best, but you do as analyzing the game, you're like, is this the week or is our luck gonna run out? Now, for me,
losing Kittle is tough, man.
Yeah, it is. But for me, I know Seattle. The last time we played Seattle, that was ugly.
This is what I'll say about that, right? And I understand. I understand that they pretty much dominated y'all, but I don't think y'all played that bad defensively, and that is where you guys lack. But I thought you guys played them fairly well defensively. Now they had some miscues themselves, but
yeah, no, and so here's the thing about Seattle, and here's the same thing about Here's the thing about the Rams. They don't scare me.
The Rams don't scare you?
No.
The Rams don't scare you? Well, that's because that's our division.
It's our division.
Like, the Eagles don't scare me.
Yeah,
but
that's right. So when I look at like the Seahawks, yeah, they dominated their last game, but I feel like we could beat them. We beat them one time this year. We split with them.
That's true.
Same with the Rams, right? We split with them. So we'll see how it plays out. So second half blown leads. Let's talk about Green Bay and the Bears.
Was I clapping just now?
Yeah, he was clapping. Let's talk about Green Bay and the Bears. So
what's up?
That was one of the ugliest of ugly.
I loved it.
Blown leads.
I loved it.
That I've ever seen.
I loved every moment of watching them lose that because I think that Green Bay. Well, first of all, if I'm being as honest as possible, I don't think that Green Bay was that good this year. I think that they thought they had someone. Micah got hurt. Unfortunately, honestly I don't think they won a game since he got hurt. I think they may have won one game, but I think that I don't know. I don't know if they won a game since Micah got hurt. But what I will say is they are still a young team, right? Their receivers, their best receiver is a rookie, and then all the other ones only been in the league probably 2 or 3 years, so I still think that they're young. I personally think that Jordan Love is inconsistent. That could come from having young receivers, but there's no excuses, right? It is what it is. You have an 11-point lead with, I think, 4 minutes left. You should find a way to win that game. And the Bears, their defense always gets joked on. That second half, that might have been the best brand of defense that the Bears have played all season. Because they needed stops. They cannot stop. They cannot stop the Packers in the first half.
Right.
It
looked like
easy.
it was like it was going to be a blowout game. No, it was that first half. They were firing.
Scary.
They were firing on all.
Yep.
I'll even say the third quarter, the Bears didn't look that great up until the fourth quarter. It took them a while because the play that I remember vividly was the Bears were like in the red zone. It looked like they were going to score. This was like late in the third quarter, and Caleb throws an interception in the red zone.
Yeah.
And I thought then, I was like, oh man, this game is over. And to my shock, they found a way to figure it out. So the real question, what I really wanted to ask you though, is Matt LaFleur, does the seat get hot for him?
I think this is so stupid. Matt LaFleur has been a tremendous coach for the Packers, right? And even though I say I don't think they're that good, they're still a really good team, right? There was a ton of people picking them to win the Super Bowl. There was a ton of people picking them to win that division. There was a ton of people saying that they were one of the best teams in the NFC. So I personally don't think that seat should be hot. I think it's just a lot of times you could blame the media, right? Because they create these narratives, they create these stories that don't necessarily need to be there. And personally, I think it's stupid. I think if you fire Matt LaFleur, you're going to set your organization back like years, like kind of like what the Steelers are. But the Packers are in a better shape than the Steelers. As far as like the roster construction, to me, I think who you gonna bring in? Because Shanahan ain't going nowhere. What you gonna bring in? Kevin Stefanski? You gonna bring in another young coach? When you got first of all, he's young. It's not like he's an old coach. So I think that no, the seat shouldn't be hot, and no, they shouldn't be talking about getting rid of LaFleur.
So I agree with everything that you said, but I don't play devil's advocate, right?
You always do.
Yeah. So that team, Green Bay, ton of talent on the team. Like we all agree.
Yeah.
Is it possible that Matt LaFleur has taken them as far as he can go with it?
I don't think so. I think because there were years where I think they overachieved. I think a couple years ago, the year they beat Dallas,
they overachieved.
They overachieved. They could have beat y'all. Y'all beat them. Or did they beat y'all? Yeah, y'all beat them because y'all played Detroit in the NFC Championship. No, I think that he's had teams that weren't that great. Maybe they weren't that great defensively, or they were missing something offensively. He's been a good coach, right? A lot of people thought that when they lost, when Aaron Rodgers left a few years ago, that he probably is not going to be that good of a coach. But if I'm not, I don't think they've had a losing record under LaFleur. So
Okay.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how everybody's trying to like microwave a championship, or like if you don't win a championship, you were never successful. And I think that's wrong. Now there are times where you're like, damn, bro, like get the job done. Me personally, no, I cannot say. I probably dislike the Packers more than I do. Nah, not more than the division guys, but it's close. It's almost like the Packers are in the division with us. I hate them.
Wow.
I hate them.
So let me ask
Go
you this:
Bears.
Buffalo and Jags. Were you surprised by Buffalo winning that game?
No. I think that they were. No, I picked the Jags to win, but I had a feeling that Buffalo could get that win. If Josh Allen doesn't get it done this year,
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Getting to a Super Bowl is gonna be rough sledding. Pretty much the rest of his career. You don't have no Mahomes, you don't have Burrow, you don't have Lamar to worry about. Now I tell you what,
It's got the Denver defense though.
I ain't worried about that. I honestly, Denver's defense is good, it's legit, but it's the playoffs, and Bo Nix is still there, and I ain't really sold yet on Bo Nix.
I'm not either. I was looking at Denver's secondary, and I was looking at Buffalo's like wide receivers, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough if they have to be. James Cook has to be effective for them to win that game. Josh Allen's going to be Josh Allen. I mean, the way that he put that team on his back. Yeah. I mean, with their, I guess, version of the tush push that they've got going on. So I do agree. This is the year that he's got to figure out how to get it done.
I'm thinking now, right? Trying to win some money. Do I bet on Buffalo
to win the Super Bowl?
Oh no, I ain't picking them to win the Super Bowl. Right? I'm talking about just for this game.
So is Buffalo the underdog?
No. Buffalo's a road favorite. that which tells me a lot. Is like, wait a minute, like what is happening? Like, how is Buffalo, who I think they have like 3 healthy receivers, but they do have the league's leading rusher.
Yeah, but
they got the tight ends.
But to your point, 3 healthy receivers. They're beat up, going against one of the top secondaries,
and they're still a road favorite.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Who are you picking in that game?
I got Buffalo. So me and you, we talked earlier this year. By the way, I was wrong with this. I predicted Buffalo was going to go 15-2. I forget.
He was so confident. I was saying 10. He like win. I'm like,
but I feel like they're going to come out the AFC. The Patriots are going to have a tough time with the Texans. That Texans defense is legit. And I like Drake May. Been watching a lot the Patriots. Not necessarily super sold on them going up against that defense. Now, I get it. Aaron Rodgers is 42. He's washed. He's on his last leg. But you talk about defensive lines. That defensive line that the Texans have gets after it. And I just – that's going to be a tough game too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. Now, the only thing that bothers me a little bit about the Texans is I'm not all the way sold on their offense.
Right.
Like, I feel like that the defense won that game. I mean,
well, yeah, they scored 2 touchdowns. They scored more than what you call his offense. Than the Steelers offense. Who did the Patriots play this week?
Texans.
They played the Texans. I'm trying to see if they played them in this season. I don't think so.
No, I don't think they've matched up.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's an AFC East rematch. I think that they're gonna beat the Texans. Yeah, I got Buffalo. I got Buffalo in New England going to the AFC Championship, which is crazy. Like, who would have had that matchup? So you got the Patriots. I give after that. I'll tell you. I give you. But in the NFC, I have Seattle beating you guys, and then who do the Rams play? The Rams play.
I just
Who's the
thought
one
of the
seed?
scene.
Who's the one seed? Oh,
No, Seattle was the one seed.
The Bears. That's gonna be whole. Oh.
So I have 49ers versus the Rams.
Here's why the Bears can
You
beat
got
the
the
Rams.
Bears.
Hold on. Hear me out.
Yeah, I do have to hear this.
Now,
You got the super fan.
I'm not saying that I'm picking the Bears. I'm not saying that I'm picking the Rams. So the Rams, although they're going to be in Chicago. Chicago's the home team. I don't necessarily know how good Matthew Stafford is going to be in Chicago. It's not going to be warm.
But he's played in Detroit before.
In a dome. It's not like he played outside. Detroit plays in a dome. Minnesota plays in a dome. He didn't beat Chicago that much, and he didn't beat Green Bay that much. So I mean, and last time I seen him play in putrid weather, he struggled. He struggled against the Panthers, not necessarily last week, but last year against the Eagles, he didn't necessarily struggle, but he didn't look that great in that snowstorm. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be a snowstorm, but what I am saying is that the Bears defense is opportunistic.
They're opportunistic.
Right? They definitely create turnovers.
They create turnovers.
And I don't think that, because last week, I think that Ben Johnson is the one that actually held back the Bears. I don't think that he does that 2 weeks in a row. I'm going with the Bears. I got Bears, Rams, Bears, Seahawks in the NFC Championship.
So, and it's ironic that I feel this way, Pauls. So you said something earlier, and it was in reference to the 49ers, and you were saying this might be the week that you wake up. I think I feel that way with the Bears. I feel this might be the week that it finally just, hey, you guys had a great season. You overachieved. Shout out to you.
I don't think they overachieved. I mean, I don't.
Outside of you, G, and Mike Dicker, nobody saw the
Bears. Mike Dicker.
Nobody saw the Bears.
Come on, man.
Going this far. Maybe Corey Palmer, throw him an alibi and T. So it might have been 5 of you guys that felt like the Bears. Yeah, it just
the Rams. Do you think the Bears are better than the Panthers? Oh my God. What? You don't think the Bears are better than the Panthers?
Okay, so the Bears are better.
Okay.
But that Panthers defense.
Yo, what's up with you today with everybody's defense is so amazing.
No, well, hear me out. That's secondary.
Who's secondary?
The Panthers secondary.
Okay.
And Matt Stafford, he had a lot of problems with their secondary in both games. Said that was probably the toughest secondary that they've played. The offense for the Panthers, I'm not going to say it looked good, but Bryce Young, if he can stay with those two receivers that he has, the run game, that team is heading in the right direction. So with the Bears, yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah, the Bears are better. The Bears are better. The Bears are
Thank
better.
you.
It took me a while to arrive there, but yeah, the Bears.
So are you going with the Bears winning the game?
Hell no. I'm not going with the Bears winning the game. I'm going with the Rams, and I hate to say this. I hate to even. I wish both of them could lose, but yeah, I think the Rams are going to win.
Gonna make a bet?
Let's make a bet. What do you want to bet?
All right. So I'm not drinking in January.
Okay.
All right. But if
Are you fasting?
no, I was just doing like a dry January. Just got a lot going on. Didn't even feel like drinking.
Okay, then shout out to you. How many days sober are you?
Yeah, first of all, don't make it seem like I'm a drunk.
No.
It was what was the last?
You started at New Year's?
Nah, I started because I drank when we went to watch the game.
Oh
So-
yeah, that is right.
So like the 4th. So since the 4th, all right,
Okay, 10 days.
10 days. First of all, I don't even drink like that. What make it seem like
No,
I'm a drunk? or something?
No.
So, nonetheless, I'm like this. So, because I think that I honestly wish the 49ers were playing the Bears, but I think the 49ers are going to lose. You think they're going to win? And I think the Bears are going to win. You think the Rams are going to beat the Bears?
So I'm rooting for the 49ers. I believe the Rams are going to beat the Bears.
So you think you know your team is going to lose, or you feel like this is it? You can be honest.
It's a tough.
I feel like a therapy session. You want to lay down on the couch?
I feel like I want them to win. I think we can win, but it's asking a lot considering what we've been through.
Yeah,
all season.
Yeah.
And not
I think
having like
Shanahan has done a hell of a job.
yeah. If we pull off that victory, we still got the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl to go through. So
let's skip your game. Rams and Bears. You're going for the Bears. The Rams. You think the Rams are going to win this game going away easily, like a blowout, like 2 scores?
I wouldn't say a blowout because the Rams find themselves in awkward situations to where they keep teams around from time to time.
Pause. Therapy said, when you're in therapy,
I got you. I understood.
These immature.
Hey,
viewers,
it's our circle of friends.
All right, so we need a good bet, and it's not going to be the Yoke 'em Up challenge. So anybody thinking that can cancel Christmas. Let's do this. Remember we had the jersey bet?
I was just it's interesting. So if you win, I'm gonna buy you a Bears jersey.
You don't have to buy me a Bears. What you gotta buy me a Bears jersey for?
I think it's your team.
It's not my team.
It's your team. It is your team. You might as well go home to Chicago. It is your team.
Nah, I'm a Cowboys fan, baby. But if the Bears lose, I'll wear 49ers jersey for the show.
Okay.
If the Bears win,
I'll give you a Brock Purdy jersey.
yeah, I'm gonna burn that. Brock Purdy has been playing well though. But if the Bears win,
Cowboys jersey.
yeah, I gotta go. And I'm gonna make you wear Xavier's Cowboys jersey too. No, I'm joking. But yeah. Cowboys jersey. A Cowboys jersey would suffice.
I was thinking I should get you a 49er helmet. Make you do this show. Make
Oh,
do
you know what? You know what? You're gonna have to do the show with the Cowboys. With my Cowboys hat. Yep.
Yeah, we'll do the
Yes,
helmet.
sir.
do the helmet.
Yes, sir. Don't get no fucking helmet. Yeah. Don't get no. But put it like this. So if the Bears lose, I have to wear some sort of 49er paraphernalia. And if the Rams and if the Bears win, you gotta wear.
Now you got the helmet. You're gonna be sitting right there.
You got a helmet for real?
I won't buy one.
Yo, what? Yeah, that is so crazy. Yo,
no, because I was just thinking, I was like, well, I do kind of want a 49er helmet.
Hey, yo.
Matter of fact, put it right now.
No. But all right, so before we get out of here, college football playoff, the championship is Monday, Martin Luther King Day, in Miami, Indiana, Miami. Thoughts on the games?
Shout out to Miami because I didn't think that they were going to make it this far.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see them beating Indiana. I mean, Indiana,
they damn good,
really good, really good. It's just, I just don't see it, and it's so surprising because. So funny story. Now I'll make this quick. I was in Atlanta this past week, and they played in Atlanta. And literally, I'm not joking. It felt like the whole state of Indiana was that yeah, and it was weird because you talked to everybody, and they was just like, "Man, we didn't even think we was this good. Like we've never been this good in football." And just like seeing all the like Indiana fans that like literally like went to the school, like it was no because that's a random team, so you just don't like see like a whole bunch, but it felt like everybody from the state of Indiana was in Atlanta this week. But crazy, but yeah, I got Indiana.
Whew. Yeah, well, to make a long story short, I have Indiana. I've had Indiana since the beginning of the playoffs. Once they robbed Notre Dame, and it's not about Notre Dame, but I think that this playoff run by Miami reminded me a lot of Notre Dame's run last year. Right now, I know Miami's a lower seed than Notre Dame was last year, but it wasn't. I think people thought that Notre Dame would beat Indiana, but they didn't think they was going to beat Georgia. I don't know how many people had Miami beating Ohio State. Then when they played Penn State, it was back and forth, and they had to come back and score. I mean, win at the end. Same with Miami against Ole Miss. You know, they had to come back and score at the end. So the playoff runs are really, really similar, right? Now you can say, well, Notre Dame played Penn State, but I mean, it was Penn State. Look at what Penn State did this year. Ole Miss was damn good. You know, I think they got a superstar at quarterback. So the runs are really similar. Now, Indiana's run, and you compare to like somebody like Ohio State last year, it was kind of similar. Like Ohio State. Now, the only difference is Ohio State didn't have a bye last year, but they rolled through Tennessee. Who did they play second? They played Oregon. Oh, they beat the brakes off of Oregon, and then handled Texas pretty easily. Now, Indiana's the first team with a bye to actually win a game, and they demolished Alabama. That's almost like 2 wins right there, right? And then they play Oregon. God, poor Oregon. they stay getting their doors blown off, but then they get they blow the doors off of Oregon, and now we're here, right? And it really looks similar to Ohio State.
They beat up on Ohio State in Big Ten championship.
Yeah, but I think that game was a lot closer.
But
yeah. But still, like you said, like it's like, I mean, they dominated like up front, like their O-line and D-line is so dominant. It's gonna be good to see that Miami defensive line against Indiana's offensive line.
Yeah. So I'll say this though. Football, and that's what makes it great, is you never really know who's going to win. And really, honestly, we both be billionaires if we always knew who won, because we be able to bet on them and cash in. So they have an opportunity. I just think Indiana's going to win. Maybe I'll put some money on Miami just in case, but
Miami's not going to win.
They're not going to win.
They're not. Indiana, and I saw, you know, people. I started seeing people comparing them to 2019 LSU. I don't know if they got Justin Jeffersons and Jamar Chases on that team, but they a damn good team, because it's like, man, Mendoza's good. I think he's going to be a good pro. I don't think Carson Beck is going to be a good pro. I could be wrong, but I think Carson Beck is going to be similar to Stinson.
I have Carson Beck PTSD.
What happened?
I drafted him when I was the owner of the Cardinals.
Oh yeah.
This
is, we talking Madden now. We don't even
got Carson.
But it's gonna, you know, he is Carson Beck is like, he's like Stinson Bennett at Georgia. Like, he won a championship. Got drafted like the 6th, 7th round to the Chargers. And I think Carson Beck is probably going to be like a 4th or 5th round pick. I honestly don't think I would be surprised if he goes before the 4th round. I really would. You know, it is what it is. And I said Stetson. I don't know what let's get out of here, I'm you know, so I think I'm gonna do a video for the parlays, because I think that it's gonna be some good stuff. But it's time to go. It's the end of the show. I gotta play my Madden game.
Yeah,
you know, I got a lot going on. So are we done?
We're done.
This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Your boy Scotty B.
The camera said we out.
We off the record. Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo. And the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.